Hey guys, Kev here, back with another video. I know it's been a minute. Gaming's been a little slow. There hasn't been a lot to talk about. So there hasn't been anything that's really drawn me out. Yeah, I could have talked about Stop Killing Games, but I didn't feel like I had anything new to really add to that conversation, really. But this I actually have something to say about. The Outerworlds 2. Now, I loved the original Outerworlds. I really enjoyed that game. I bought it when it came out. Had a good time with it. And this is a game that's been on my radar since they announced it. And I do like a lot of the improvements they're making. In particular, I like the way their perk system works, where you're going to get some good and some bad. You're going to get like a couple negative traits or a negative trait to go with your positive trait as you level up. And I like that we have games that are giving choice and consequence again in RPGs. I feel like that's very important here. So that is just one positive thing that I like about this game. I like the world. I like the characters. I like the way they told the story. I really did enjoy the original Outer Worlds when it came out. And because of that, I've been looking forward to the second game. But when Microsoft announced it during Summer Games Fest, I personally found that $80 price tag offensive. I find $80 video games in general offensive. And I made a video talking about this. $80 just isn't competitive. And what it tells me is that you really think that you're the only game in town and that there's nothing else to play and nowhere else to go. We don't have any other options, so we are going to buy for $80. At least that's what I thought when I saw it for Nintendo. And people were going to buy the Switch too. It's a highly anticipated console. Switch 1 is one of the highest selling consoles of all time, so that made sense with Mario Kart. But this is the Outer Worlds, and this is Xbox. Xbox, a company that's been stepping on the rake and struggling and doing baffling moves ever since the reveal of the Xbox One in 2013. And they're telling us that the Outer Worlds is an $80 game because all of their new releases are going to be $80. That's offensive to me because it's the Outer Worlds. And I liked the original game. And I like Obsidian. However, it's a double A quality game. It truly is. And the original one was too, and that was fine. The original should have been between about 40 and 50 bucks. And so should this. In a world with Oblivion Remastered and Expedition 33 coming out at 50 bucks and each being contenders for Game of the Year, and hell, even Borderlands 4 couldn't pull off $80. What in the world made you think that the Outer Worlds could pull off 80 or even 70? 70 is still offensive. So I see Microsoft doing this, and I see people doing victory laps for this. Saying, hey, it's a win. Microsoft bent the knee. No, they didn't. Microsoft is trying to fix pre-order numbers. I think, honestly, pre-orders for this guy on PS5 are down. That's really what I think is happening. Pre-orders are bad for PS5. People are complaining about the price tag. Hey, let's bring it down to 70 and I bet you people will be okay. No, we weren't okay with, at least I wasn't okay with $70 games. I've never been okay with $70 games. I wasn't okay with 80. I was barely okay with 60. Just for context. I think most modern games should be about 40, 50 bucks. We don't have to deal with all of the stuff that comes with printing physical media and shipping and all of that because most games are digital. And let's be real, we're shipping out download codes at this point. They're just a download code on a disc at this point. So why are games so expensive? It doesn't make sense to me. So when I see Microsoft and people are going around doing the victory lap saying, yay, woo, it's $70 now instead of 80, I think you don't realize how hard you've been bamboozled. They're trying to either make you pay the 80 and see, hey, will you do it? And then if they drop it down to 70, it's like, well, hey, look, we did something about it. We helped. But it still costs more than it should. This is still price gouged. This game should be 50 bucks. 40 bucks, 50 bucks. Drop this motherfucker down where it belongs. And I don't want to hear people in my mentions in the comments talk about, well, Kev, what about Game Pass? I'm not interested in Game Pass. Actually, my PC isn't even compatible with Game Pass anymore. I've switched to Linux. So I don't even have access to Game Pass anymore. I don't want Game Pass. What I want are good games at reasonable prices. And I have no problem skipping this game. I have over 1,000 games on Steam. I have no problems with waiting for this game to go for free or to go for 10, 20 bucks. You know, I'm fine with that. I'm not so anticipating this game. I have no problems playing older games and waiting until this game comes down to what I believe is an appropriate price. I don't care that the game has double the content, because double the content doesn't necessarily mean double the fun. Double the playtime doesn't necessarily mean it's good or that it's not overstaying its welcome. What I care about is quality. I'm okay with this game being 30 hours of high quality content, 20 hours of high quality content. But if it's just 80 hours of slop, you can keep it. So no, this isn't doing me any favors, and I don't trust Microsoft. Not with how they laid off a bunch of people in favor of AI. Not when they're cranking up prices for games, saying, hey, we need the extra money, while being one of the most profitable companies in the world, and the Xbox division actually doing well when they told their people that as they were laying them off, that the Xbox division was doing well. So I'm not buying any of this about you need the extra money. You're being greedy. And I think this is one of those times where everybody should definitely vote with their wallet. I'm voting with my wallet. If I play this game, it's not going to be for a penny over $40. And truthfully, if I paid $40 for this, it'd be the most expensive game I bought all year, because I'm mostly playing indie games and AA games these days anyway. I still haven't bought Expedition 33, a game that I think looks phenomenal, and everything I've heard about it is great. I haven't played it yet. So I have plenty to play. I don't need this. And I think this is what the gaming industry needs to hear. We need to boycott and just skip out on these $80 games. The games industry needs to learn we have too many options to pay $80 for games. Now, some people are going to do it. Some people are absolutely going to do it. They don't ask questions. They just consume product and then get excited for new product. But those of us with brains, those of us that are paying attention, those of us who understand what's going on, understand that games are a luxury, not a need. And I think this industry needs to understand that. I want to know what you guys think about this, because I like I said, I don't think $70 for the Outerworlds is not a W. I think it's just whatever. It's like, who cares? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you're new to this channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'll talk to you guys next time, and thanks for watching.